Hi everyone, this is me again, Jennifer, and I'm doing a two-part series here on in-flight, being happy and healthy for your flight. You paid a lot of money for your trip, and you paid a lot of money for your flight, so why not have the best flight ever? You want to be safe on the flight, and that's the second part of this series. The second video will be talking about how to stay safe, not getting blood clots, not getting sick on the plane. But this video is all about having a great time. You're going to be on the plane for 10 hours. Maybe when we went to Bali, 30 hours. You want to have a great time. You paid for it, have fun. So this video is all about how to enjoy yourself on the plane and make friends. We're going to be talking about what to do before you fly, things that you can do to maximize your enjoyment before you get on the plane, and then things to do when you're on the plane. I wish I could take her with me. She'd be a lot of fun on the plane, but I think he'd be tendency to bark a little bit. This is Monkey, say hi. I'm going to put her down right now when we get to business. I think what's really important for you on the flight, before you fly, three things. One, you want to make sure that you choose the right flight time. The best time, I think, is in the afternoon. If you choose in the morning, at 7 o'clock in the morning, if you have to be there 3 hours early, and then you have an hour driving time, you end up getting there, you have to get up about 3 o'clock in the morning. That's way too early. You're not going to get a good night's sleep, and you'll have jet lag when you get to your destination. I like the afternoon flights. I also like to buy my tickets early so I can get the right seat. If you get a seat near the wings, you're less likely to get a lot of movement from the plane, so you won't get airsick, but also you want to make sure that you stay away. If you get by the wings, that's the best place, but by the wings is where they have the restrooms. And you don't want to be by that clanking sound and that smell. So get a little bit of distance between the bathroom and you, but get as close to the wings as you can. The other thing I wanted to talk about is choosing the seat in the aisle and in the row. A lot of people choose the aisle. They think they have more leg room. I guess you do, but it's a big trade-off, because if you choose the window, you have a lot of other options and a lot of advantages. One, you get to control the screen. Two, you could put yourself next to it if you want to sleep that way. But also, more importantly than anything, you don't have, if you're sitting by the window, you don't have a lot of people crawling over you to go to the bathroom. And that can be horrifying when someone has got a bladder issue and they're constantly getting over. That's happened to me going to Italy once before. This person got up 10 times during the flight. If you're sitting in the window, no one's getting over you. And then secondly, I think as important, is in the back of you, that row, when they're getting up and down, they're not going to be grabbing your seat. They'll grab the middle seat and the aisle seat. That keeps you, when you're sleeping, from getting disturbed. And in the surveys I've read, the most irritating thing on the plane is when people are grabbing your seat or kicking your seat. So you want to minimize that. Okay, so those are the ideas that you want to make sure that you incorporate before you fly. But let's talk for a second about being on the flight. You want to, if you're going to be there for 10 hours, enjoy as much as you can this 10 hours. So what I do is bring a little package with me. This is my in-flight care package. This is your day pack that you're going to bring anyway. You would probably just put it in your suitcase and check it. Because you want to have it there in Europe or in South America, but it's just a day pack full of really nice things that you can put under the seat in front of you. So once that's in there, you can relax and stay in your seat. Inside this bag is everything you need for the flight to make you happy. One of the most important things you can bring is noise-canceling headphones. Let's talk about that for a second. These headphones, these are made by Sony. Bose are actually better. These cancel out like 96% of the noise. Bose does a lot better, but they're more expensive. This is like $100. These are battery operated, and by the way, bring an extra battery. Being that they're battery operated, they don't just block out the noise like earplugs. They eliminate the noise. So if there's a crying baby, it doesn't come through at all. If there's a barking dog because somebody has one, or a kitty cat, You don't hear that, or there's a loud neighbor, or even when you're sitting too close to the bathroom and that door is clanging all the time. You don't hear any of that. it takes a lot of the frustration out of the flight if you have these. You can also plug them in to the airline to see the movies. When there's a movie being played, you can plug it right in. But I would suggest, you can also plug it into your laptop. I would suggest, however, if you want to fall asleep, don't plug it into the plane. Plug it into your little iPod. I bring a couple nanos with me with my music. Plug that in, you can fall asleep. Because when they make those announcements, those are really loud and they'll wake you up several times during the night. So bring these. I think what's also important for you, we're going to be talking a lot about getting sleep, but I bring these along. This is not really a sleep aid, it's just, I don't know, maybe an antihistamine or something, but just take one of these rather than two, and it just makes me so relaxed and I fall asleep. Two of them makes me groggy when I get there, so I don't take two. A sleep mask is important. I like to go to sleep when the sun starts to go down on the plane, but you want to have one of these in case someone's got the overhead light. They're doing reading and you could just have this on. It's really nice to have. So you've got this on, you've got the headphones on, you can finally sleep. Let's see. I don't like to get cold when I'm on the plane, and the blankets that they issue are not very good. So I make sure I bring a lot to keep myself warm. This is a silk top. This is what I use when I go cross-country skiing. It's just silk. You could get it at REI or Sports Chalet or anything like that. It folds up real small. You want to bring that anyway on your trip in case there's cool nights. You might as well have it on the plane with you. So if your body core, for me, if my body core is cold, I cannot sleep. So this really helps. You can always throw it on or take it off. We talked about sleep masks. And then I always bring a scarf. This is always helpful to have around your neck in case there's a draft. And then I bring gloves. Now, you may be thinking, seriously, do you get that cold? Well, I'll tell you what I do. When I get on the plane, I turn the air on just halfway. That air is constantly blowing in front of me during the whole flight. I do that for a reason. The plane's really germy and people are sneezing and coughing. You don't want to get to your destination and have bronchitis. And that happened in Bali. I've seen it happen. It used to happen to me all the time. Somebody got sick on the plane and gave it to everybody else in the bus. I've been sick before and had to spend 2 or 3 days in the room because I'm sick. That doesn't happen to me anymore because I take precautions. But having that air blow down, if anyone's coughing or sneezing, when the droplets are running around, they're blown out of my breathing area. This keeps me warm. The other nice thing about these gloves when I put them on is I'm not constantly touching the plane. The plane is dirty. They clean it once a month, but think about it. There's 150 people at least that have been on the plane before you actually got there. Would you be in a hotel if every 150 people they find and clean it? No. This keeps your hands nice and clean. You can put these on and then touch whatever you need to touch and then wash them when you get to your destination. Why take the chance to get sick, right? Let's see, what else do I bring? I bring this, let's talk about this in a second. Some nuts, something to snack on. It's always a nice idea. I bring hand sanitizer and some toilet paper. This is always good to blow your nose, but it's also, you can take this out, put some hand sanitizer on, and clean everything. So you just don't get all those germs. Listen, in the next video, you'll realize why this is important. So when I'm ready to sleep, I put my face mask on, I put my headphones on, and then I put this on. This covers my mouth, and it seems like, again, overkill, but listen, you've spent a lot of money on your trip, you spent a lot of money on your flight, you don't want to get sick, so why not wear this? It keeps the germs out. It does a lot of other things too. A lot of times when you fly, people have BO. You're in there with 400 other people, it happens. It happened to me when I went to Bali. Somebody next to me, bless his heart, had eaten way too much garlic. Horribly, just painful garlic smell. I put this on, couldn't smell it. People have taken their shoes off before, their BO for their feet, I don't smell. Smokers, again, I don't smell them. People with perfume, and also the bathroom, I don't smell. So for all those reasons, plus the germs, I take 3 of these, or at least 3, maybe 4 or 5. one to wear on the way to Europe or South America, and then toss it because it's full of germs. One to wear on the flight back. And then I also have a couple of other pairs in case the room has mold in it or something else is bothering me. Diesel fumes on a boat, anything like that, I can always throw this on. I have asthma, so it helps a lot, but it's also been recommended by my allergist and my internist. Let's see, also, make sure that you bring a laptop. This will help you fight the unbearable hours on the flight. You know, you can load it full of movies. I bring movies that I've seen a million times, so I don't care if I watch it again. And if I fall asleep through the movie, it doesn't bother me. Don't bring work. That's just annoying. I also bring my journal. I like to have a travel journal when I fly, and I bring it on the plane just in case I want to write things down. It eases my mind so I can actually go to sleep. And it's fun to write. Let's see, so other than that, that's kind of what I have in the care package. But I'm going to suggest you bring one more thing, or at least a couple more things. One, to get sleep, and sleep is so important, I bring a nice little neck pillow. I've tried so many different ones. They don't work. This one is the best. It's got by Kaboo. You can get it on Amazon. It's got a very narrow area here where you can actually lean back on your seat. Doesn't push your head forward. It's so high that it keeps your head up, and then you can tie it. So once your head's in this, it's not bobbing around. It's the best I've ever found, and it's inflatable, so it packs into a really small size for travel. It's the best one I've ever found, and it's washable on the outside. So that's for sleeping. But the other thing I wanted to mention that you might want to bring are books. In fact, you're going to be bringing the books anyway. You might as well bring them on the plane. I like to bring books for architectures, easy reading on the plane. You'll want to bring this anyway. This is Rick Steves. This one's Paris. Bring your Spain, bring your, any books by Rick Steves are the best. You'll see these all over Europe. Everyone has them. He's the best. You've already read it, you've tagged it, but you can read it again on the plane. I also like to bring, to read some history. This is the Medici, talks about the Renaissance. And if you want to, you can actually, read the entire history of where you're going. This is Italy, I'm going to get one of these for Spain. So it's really good reading on the plane to get you enticed about where you're going to go, really immersed in it. You paid a lot of money for this trip, you want to really get everything you can out of it. The other thing I like to bring is a book about my camera. And I like to take my camera on board, put it in this bag, and then when I'm on the flight, go through the menu items again, go through some of the other functions to make sure I know my camera inside and out. And then lastly, I like to bring a book that's actually just fun. Just bring something that you've already read, at least the first chapter, because I've been on flights before where I thought this book was going to be good, and I get through that first chapter and I hated it, and I wanted to just toss it. Well, now I got another 10 hours with this really bad book. So at least read the first chapter. Okay, so those are the things you want to have on the plane. Just one more thing I want to mention. You're going to be bringing this with you anyway. This is a hoodie. This one's a real soft one, a real warm one. You might as well just bring it on the plane and have it with you. That way, if you get cold, you can always put it on. You can always use it as a pillow if you want to. But putting this on, this warm hoodie, and then putting the hood up, make sure everyone knows you're sleeping. So I always recommend bringing a hoodie. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about is, let's see, a couple more things. In-flight etiquette, I also want to mention, let's see, we talked about getting some sleep. Smelly neighbors we talked about. Staying warm we talked about. Let's talk a little bit about jet lag. You want to make sure that when you get there, you're as relaxed as possible. That way you don't, you're not cranky as soon as you get there. Get sleep the night before. Try to get at least 4 or 5 hours on the plane sleeping. And then when you get to the destination, don't go to sleep right away. Get on their time as soon as you can. As soon as you get off the plane, get on their time. That'll help with your jet lag. Also on the plane, drink lots of water. I bring my water with me. Bring water, and you might have a glass of wine, but I would recommend not having 3 Bloody Marys because that's going to ruin your sleep. Let's see. Let's talk about in-flight etiquette. That's the last thing I want to talk about. When you get on the plane, it's really important that you smile a lot. If you smile at your neighbors and say hello, you not only have good neighbors that don't want to hurt you, you have allies on the plane, and I'll tell you why that's important. If you smile a lot, say hi, how are you, especially like to the flight attendant, she will help or he will help you in any way possible. Note, when you get on the plane, how many Americans don't say please and thank you? One of the things I love about my group is we go to another country and say please and thank you a lot, realizing that you get a lot more from these people if you're gracious. You're not an ugly American. You say please and thank you and you smile. You say hello. So do that on the plane as well. It helps a lot because the people next to you won't be clamming around making noise because they like you. But it really helps the row behind you. If you get a chance to say hello, how are you, and smile at them, they're less likely to kick your seat. They're less likely to drop the seat down, the tray table down and bother you. But sometimes there's a child behind you, and the child doesn't know any better. It's bored. It didn't come prepared. It's cold and tired and hungry and absolutely bored, and it's kicking your seat. This is where it comes in. It's really handy to have been really gracious, because when you turn around to talk to them, talk to the parent, not to the child, of course, and ask them, please, how are you? Hi, I met you earlier. I'm getting to Italy, and I really need to make sure I get some sleep. And if there's anything I can do, buy you some chips or buy you some a meal, or is there anything I can do to maybe stop the kicking on my seat? Anything I can do at all, I would love to do it. Smile a lot, be humble, be gracious. I've done that before. It stops. So benefit to you to be nice to everybody on the plane. Because remember, everybody's tired and hungry and wants off the plane. The only one that really thought about it is you. You planned it, so it's really fun for you, but you'll watch. It's really horrendous for everybody else. I think that's the only thing I wanted to talk about in-flight etiquette. I think we're going to stop now. I want to make sure that you have a great flight. We're all going to be on the flight together, so have fun. I can't wait to fly with you. We'll see you there.